Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the Supreme Arena defenses I've come up with for this week. We're going to lead it off with the free-to-play team number 1. So team number 1 is going to be the Siren, Lilymay, Ravion combo. Ravion is going to be buffing up both of them in the back to increase their damage output, and both are really good PvP damage dealers, and Lilymay has a great utility by interrupting an enemy ultimate. And then we also have Theodore in front of Siren to boost his energy, so you can get off a Siren ultimate early off into the match. And then finally we have Nero, because Nero can take an enemy Lilymay interruption, meaning that if the opponent, tries to run Lilymay here, they're not going to be able to interrupt your Siren, and Siren's going to get that huge value with his early ultimate. Now, the positioning of Nero is not ideal, honestly, but the thing is, there's no other tile where he will fit. We need to have Siren and Lilymay in the back so that they can be buffed up by Ravion. That was really important here, and Nero will still get the job done. And this will be with the Star Shower artifact. Really good offensive, like early damage bursting artifact. I think it is the best choice. So there we have a really good team number 1. Okay, so team number 2 is going to be the Pandora comp, but the more free-to-play version, just using Valara, because like a newer player who's joined the game more recently, you may not have that many Paragons, but if you have your Valara, at plus 20 exclusive equipment, she will work even at Supreme Plus in this comp, where you just have 3 Wilder Heroes to enable the Wilder Phantom. We have Pandora in a position where she's really well protected. She's not going to be able to be killed easily, and especially also with this map effect, this provides a bonus damage reduction to the allies up, the 2 frontmost allies, and Pandora basically will become not possible to be killed. Galahad is going to go into the Pandora box. She's going to come out 4 seconds into the match with the Mana Wave spell artifact running, with the Valara magic circle for a bit more protection, and she'll be able to cast her ultimate freely because we have Iron to take an enemy Lilymay interruption, and if the enemy doesn't run Lilymay, we're going to get a free Iron ultimate off, crowd controlling them pretty heavily with the elements as well. That is a whole team comp strategy here, and it is a really good option for newer players making use of Gala as well, which does well with Pandora. Okay, team number 3 is going to be the Shmira turtle comp. We have Damon buffing up Shmira. We have Ludovic also on the Stellar Bond healing up everyone. We have the twins here buffing up Ludovic and Shmira. And then we have Bonnie in a position where she's actually not jumpable. Like, there's no symmetrical tile for the Bonnie. That's really important when you are planning a team, because otherwise they can try to run Sylvina to jump onto Bonnie and prevent her from casting her debuff. But here that will not be possible. And she's also going to be immediately healed by Ludovic, so really good positioning basically. And Earthshell spell as well, just for more damage reduction and surviving long enough to allow Shmira to get off her ultimate. So I think I'm really happy with these free-to-play teams, and I think they should work out really well for you. We'll move on over to the mid teams now. So for the mid teams, team number 1 is exactly the same as a free-to-play team. We have Nero to take the enemy Lilymay interruption. We have the Theodore Siren combo to get off an ultimate right after Nero. And we have Lilymay and Siren both being buffed up by Ravion being rearmost. And we have the Star Shower artifact for really good early nuking. So yeah, I think that this is a really good team, and definitely worth running if you have these heroes built. Theodore should be at plus 10 exclusive equipment for that energy boosting. Moving on to team number 2, it is going to be the Pandora comp, but rather than with Gala, it is going to be with Tassi. Tassi is definitely probably going to be better for this comp, like a Pandora team, if you have Tassi built and invested. But of course, nowadays that is a luxury. If you're a newer player who started, in the last few months, probably you haven't been prioritizing Tassi because they're more important while the S levels to be building on your account. And then you can just run the Galahad team. However, if you do have Tassi built, high Paragon, definitely you want to run this. You have Pandora, putting Tassi in the box in the back. We still have the Iron strategy to crowd control enemies or just take a Lilymay interruption, so Tassi can freely cast her ultimate. When she comes out of the box, we have Bonnie in a tile where she's not jumpable by an enemy Sylvina or position swappable, and so she's going to freely get off her debuff. And then Tassi can solo enemies in the end, because Bonnie's going to apply her debuff, Tassi's going to spread it a bit, and then eventually she's going to have a good chance of soloing, and again, Mana Wave spell with this team comp. So this is a really good team, Tassi, basically Pandora comp, which you should run if you have Tassi, Paragon upgraded and invested. Okay, moving on to team number 3. Team number 3 is going to be again the Shmir comp, but it is going to be with Kalin. Kalin is the more mid-level. Kalin is definitely better in my opinion compared to Bonnie in this team because he provides more protection for everyone. Like if Kalin is in this position here, he's going to be protecting everyone from the beginning of the match, apart from the pink twin, but the blue twin is protected. And Damon probably will also be protected because he has a range of 3. He's probably just going to stand on this tile over here and attack enemies. You have Ludovic to be healing as many people as possible. You have Shmir being buffed out by Damon. And again, the Earth Shell spell. It's just all about buying enough time for Shmir to get enough energy to cast an ultimate and then hopefully cleaning it up from there. But that is going to be it for the mid teams. And before we move on to the pay to win teams, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please consider using my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thank you all so much for the support. Okay guys, so here we have pay to win team number 1. This is going to be a Perseus, Lily May, Ravion combo team with Zandrock, of course. So the idea behind this comp is Ravion is going to be providing that buff to both Lily May and Perseus to power them up further. Then we have more temporary stat buffs in the form of Leica, Zandrock, and even the Mana Wake spell. All going to be basically stacking out the Perseus to maximum stacks. That is really important because that will give him the bursting potential to just, one hit or 2 hit enemies in the front line and just work down the enemy team in the first few seconds of the match. We also have Zandrock, which is kind of important to run in a Perseus team because it will counter enemy Kulus. If the enemy tries to run Kulu, Zandrock is going to break that center boulder and Perseus is going to be able to run through and still deal high damage. The other advantage is Zandrock increases the movement speed of allies who he buffs, and that movement speed is also going to help Perseus reach the enemies quicker and run them down basically more effectively. Now, of course, there are a little bit of issues with this comp. Mihira does counter Zandrock to an extent because it delays his rallying roar, which is the temporary stat buff, and also the obstacle destruction. A little bit of a problem. However, other than that, this is a really strong team. And even if the opponent does run Mihira, Perseus still is going to be unaffected by the Ravion buffs. And eventually, the Zandrock buff is going to come through. And Perseus is still going to be a massive force to be dealt with, basically. So, yeah, really good team option, and actually it's just using regular faction heroes, no Celestial Hypogean hero needed, and should still be very effective. If you don't want to run Leica, you can consider running a hero like Iron for a bit of crowd control, or even Almas as a tank, or even a hero like Pang if you haven't built up. But I think Leica is going to be the best for just another temporary buff to ramp up Perseus further. And also ramps up Lily May. Okay, team number 2. This is the Exodia comp. From a lot of testing that has been done in Duel and even in regular arena, this Ulna Cryonite comp with Dunlinger protection, this is the most frustrating thing to deal with and basically is almost undefeatable. The reason is Ulna provides that great protection for Cryonite, Dunlinger prevents the enemy from casting or stacking ultimates, and then Cryonite is just waiting to get off her ultimate. If the enemy tries to run Dunlinger, it's fine, you have so much protection. With the Ulna, with the Aliceth, the Cryonite is not going to be dying. And then as soon as the bell wears off, she's able to cast her ultimate and then blow up at least 3 of the enemy team. And the Star Shower artifact is a great artifact to complement her. It boosts her damage output to an insane level and really allows her to get easy kills when she enters her ultimate. You also have heroes like Kulu, who is going to provide more range defense for your team, make it more difficult to defeat you, and also wall up against enemy melee comps, which is also an effective strategy. Now the positioning may look a little bit strange here, however all the important things I wanted to have this buff, damage reduction buff onto Dunlinger. That's one important thing. I wanted to have, of course, Ulna's buff and Aliceth and Dunlinger, all of their buffs onto Cryonite. That's really important. And it is fine to have, Cryonite and Ulna in the front basically taking the aggro because they're going to be immune to damage for the first 6 seconds. So it's just basically you're taking free damage, you're just wasting the enemy's skills, and then Skycross Phantom in the back. So this is basically the Exodia comp, but the core of it is Dunlinger, Ulna, and Cryonite. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to run Aliceth and Kulu. Even with those 3, you're going to be very effective. But basically, Dunlinger, Ulna, and your hyper carry of choice, and Cryonite is the best hyper carry, honestly, because she can counter Saida's, Athalia's. Basically, everything in the game is counterable by Cryonite. So with enough protection, it is the Exodia comp. Moving on to Team 3. Team 3 is going to be Saida, Athalia, and then Twins as well. Definitely Saida, Athalia have good synergy together. This is not going to be as strong as team number 2 because you don't have all enough of protection, for example. You don't have Dunlinger. However, it can still do very well. And we also have some cool tricks up our sleeve. We have Theodore boosting energy of Solis. So if the enemy doesn't run Dunlinger, or if they don't run Lily May, Solis is going to get off an ultimate very soon into the match with the boosted energy. And that healing is going to be really helpful for, like, you know, topping off the health and strolling a little bit more effectively. And the whole idea behind this comp is just Saida to cast enough ultimates. She just needs 3 ultimates, and then she's going to solo the enemy team. That is basically the strategy behind this comp. And we have some things in our favor. We have the energy boosting and health granting from the twin Stellar Bond. Stellar Bond also increases stats of Saida. We have Solis for the healing and protection of her. We have the Earth Shell spell for the damage reduction and to give Saida a better chance of surviving. And then we have Saida with this damage reduction buff effect by being the second frontmost ally on our team. And so with all of that basically covered, Saida is hopefully going to be able to get off her 3 ultimates, and then it's just game over from there. And even if she's not able to, Athalia is still going to nuke key targets, especially with the Stellar Bond buff of the twins. So these is just really cool for this comp because not only is she going to allow you to stall better with the health buff and the healing, she's also going to allow you to deal more damage with the attack buff she provides. So I think Solis is really well paired up with heroes like Saida and Athalia both. Who are going to have long, like, it's going to be a long duration fight. And then Theodore just a good tank and for the energy boosting, right? So that is basically going to be it for the teams. Hopefully they work out well for you. If you have any other team ideas or you want to share, feel free to share them in the comment section. And again, if you want to run some of these pay-to-win teams, just look at the core of the comp. For example, the core of this comp is Saida and Athalia, and twins work just fine. So this is going to be able to heal them. So that's a really good core basically combo. And then for team number 2 is, like we said, Dunlinger, Alna combined with their hyper carry of choice. Krynai would be the best one, but any hyper carry, even Shmira, Marcel, things like that can technically work as well. So that is just that. And team 1 was a Perseus Xandrov team. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this video. And if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.